It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.
With like scary monsters and angry beavers.
And a cow and chicken.
And cat dog.
And 2 stupid dogs.
And Ren and Stimpy.
Ooh, Ren and Stimpy went through like a bunch of different variations. They're like, are we going to keep this PG or make this like TVMA? Do you remember when they brought it, when it resurfaced on like FX or something, or Spike TV?
On Netflix.
Did they bring it back on Netflix?
Or I'm thinking of Rocko's Modern Life.
Oh, yeah. That's like
another
a
one.
movie.
That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, I think, why our generation is so fucked up in the brain, probably because of these crazy cartoons we watch.
They were almost psychedelic.
They were also very adult. I have not seen anything from Rocko's Modern Life that does not make me laugh to this day.
It's so funny.
Do you remember I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you remember the episode where they go to the mall and they get lost in the parking lot trying to find a parking spot?
No.
And they start like, hey, follow this guy. He's going to a car. And they're following this guy for hella long. And suddenly the guy turns around. He's like, stop following me. I've been looking for my mom for 10 years. It's a full-grown adult dressed like a kid. And he's like, I'm so lost.
What Rocko's Modern Life does, it takes relatable problems in life and just exaggerates it tenfold. Like there was one episode where Rocko, I believe he's on a date, and he freaks the fuck out because he goes to the bathroom and he has this large piece of spinach stuck in his teeth and he cannot get it out.
That's almost as good as the blind date that Charlie goes on, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Who does he go on a blind date with?
Some Asian chick, but they're like, Charlie, just tell her that you're a philanthropist. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I'm a full-on rapist.
If there's any mix-up of words that can occur so beautifully in a comedic way, it's that. It is that. A philanthropist to a full-on... That's crazy.
It's almost as good as when they had Sean Connery on Saturday Night Live for Jeopardy, when the category was These Men, and he goes, I'll take the semen.
Oh, I love that. Is that actually Sean? No, it was the person playing Sean Connery in all the Jeopardy segments. I
don't think real Sean Connery has that good of a sense of humor.
You really don't think so?
No, I think he beats women.
Shit.
Welcome, everybody.
On that note, welcome to another episode of ICBTB
Podcast,
also known as It Can't Be That Bad
Podcast.
Baddies, before you go on and listen to this episode, it would be very helpful if you hopped on Apple Podcasts, rated us 5 stars, and left a review. That stuff really helps. If you do that, and we really like your reviews, we'll read them out loud here on the show. Didn't really talk this with you, but you down for that?
Nope, I'm not.
We'll figure it out then.
Like hell we will. I want to say straight up.
Say it straight up.
Now tell me, do you love me?
Is that a song?
Straight up, now tell me, do you really want to love me forever?
Now, what version? Are you thinking of the original version by Paula Abdul? Because that's what I'm thinking. You're thinking of the hip-hop version that came out a few years ago.
I'm thinking of Laker girl Paula Abdul.
Was she a Laker girl?
That's how
she got her start?
Uh-huh. And she was a choreographer, and she was she was fucking Janet Jackson's choreographer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, I used to get the two mixed up quite frequently. They kind of look the same in different lights.
Similar music, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But I used to get them mixed up just by their name with Jessica Alba. Pamela, I don't know
Paula
Abdul and Jessica Alba. For whatever
Jessica
reason.
Abdul.
Sometimes when I think of their names, I get them mixed up. Also, that's
dyslexia, man.
Billy Joel and the magician David Copperfield.
Though their names are nowhere.
But for whatever, when I hear the name Billy Joel, I imagine the magician David Copperfield, and when I hear the name David Copperfield, I imagine Billy Joel singing "We Didn't Start the Fire."
You're messed up in the brain. Those are two things.
I have had plenty of concussions.
Because have you had...
Oh, yeah. If I murder my family in like 10 years, it's definitely CTE.
That's a scary... No, I don't like when people just blame things on like, it's because I got hit in the head
it's because
2 years ago.
Bro.
That's a Brendan Schaub thing. Like, Brendan Schaub blames a lot of his like hiccups on CTE.
But he's also a bro. He like has so much bro science. Sometimes I can't stand listening to Brendan Schaub.
Dude, I like it though. And he admits to it.
I think it's weird that you like Brendan Schaub because he's almost too bro for me. Mm-hmm. And like, I think bro culture is a little more closer to what I am akin to than you are. I think you're a little more of a...
It is kind of opposite.
Palette. Yeah.
Well, what it is, I think it's, I like, and we'll get to the episode.
We will not.
We're never going to talk about this movie.
I can't wait for it.
I can't hardly wait for it.
Oh, damn it. I missed the
But the thing about Brendan Schaub that I like is his relationship with his co-hosts on other shows. Like I like how he interacts with Brian Callen, because Brian Callen does have that refined sense of humor. Theo Vaughn, they have a show called King of the Sting. I just like Theo Vaughn's southern twang.
Brendan Schaub to me is like Cardi B of podcasting, where I don't think they should be doing stuff on their own. They should just be featured on other people's stuff.
They should only collab.
And I don't think Brendan Schaub is listening. I wish to God he was. And I don't mean this in a slight at all. I love Brendan Schaub, but I love him even more when he's on other people's podcasts.
Oh, he's a great guest.
Yeah.
He's a great guest.
I think it's better.
Was there a very huge buildup of saliva in your throat right there?
He's force choking me because he can hear me talking shit about him.
You were force choked so hard you sounded Russian.
I'm daddy-like. We watched a movie called
Can't Hardly Wait.
That's right. And this actually kind of reminded me of Drop Dead Fred.
What?
How? Ethan Embry kind of looks like Fred.
No.
Well,
not at all. Seth Green looks more like Drop Dead Fred than Ethan Embry looks like Drop Dead Fred.
I disagree.
Let's talk about it.
Let's ask Nick Lowe.
Nick Lowe, if you're listening to this, send us. Nick Lowe's our corrections department if you're a first-time listener. Nick Lowe, send us what you think. We like your opinion.
We don't. I hate your opinion. Can't hardly wait. If it pleases the court, I'd like to read a poem I wrote called "The Itty Bitty Nitty Gritty Committee."
All right. And it does please the court. You could read this poem called "The Itty Bitty Nitty Gritty Committee."
Thank you. Turn down the lights, please. And turn up your horniness. Here we go. Can't hardly wait is rated PG-13. It has a runtime of 1 hour 41 minutes, or 101 minutes, or 101 Dalmatians.
Wow. Did not see that coming.
We haven't done this episode 4 times. It has a rating of 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. It has a rating of 42% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has a rating of 52% on Metacritic. And Christian, I'm not even going to ask you because you're a liar.
What?
Have you ever cheated on Melissa?
No, never. What the fuck?
I just, under oath, I thought I'd ask you real quick.
Who the hell does that on air?
I just thought I would spring it on you real quick. Based on your reaction, I know you're telling the truth.
Can you imagine having a guest here and it just like breaking down like the episode and be like, okay, this is how we do it.
It comes out that they did cheat on like their husband or whatever, and you're just like, what? And like,
dude, we could turn into the next TMZ.
Tim's. Christian, what percentage of Google users like this film?
I'm going with 89%.
You are a liar, and I hate you, and I'm not proud to call myself your friend right now.
Well, how am I a liar? Because you know that I've looked up the Google. Fine.
Yes.
85%.
Tell them the truth. Tell the baddies the truth, Christian.
Baddies. I looked at the percentage of Google users that liked this film prior to recording.
I saw him look at it 3 times, and that's before I even got here. So who knows how many times he looked at it?
You can't even see what I'm looking at. The lights are glimmering off of my glasses right now. So what direction am I looking at the moment, Alejandro?
You're looking me in where my eyes would be, but I'm wearing sunglasses. So you don't know where my eyes are.
I can't see where your eyes are. But anyway, before we move on with the nitty gritty, I have a proposition. Can I improvise a synopsis?
Oh, the synopsis they gave me here is kind of garbage anyways, so why don't you just go ahead?
All right, I'm going to try it. This is from the top of the dome. A lot of people nowadays, they like to freestyle rap. I like to freestyle synopsises, bitches. Synopsi. All right. Here's the synopsis. Improv version. Coming right at you. Ethan Embry, a.k.a.
Wait a minute.
Preston Myers.
Hang on.
What?
The synopsis starts with the third credited actor. His real name.
Would you not credit Ethan Embry as the main protagonist in this film?
No. Everything I've read has Jennifer Love Hewitt as the number one.
I guess. Okay, fine. Let me change up the synopsis and I'll bring up J. Love Hewitt first.
Ghost Whisperer, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Mess it up completely. Amanda Beckett, a.k.a. Jennifer Love Hewitt, is the high school hottie. She comes to the high school freshman year when high school not hottie, actually high school nobody, Ethan Embry, a.k.a. Preston Myers, notices her, but is too much of a puss to say anything.
I'm sorry.
What's up?
I'm sorry.
What?
This synopsis is already going very in depth. This is like when you click on the plot summary on Wikipedia, but read by like a douchebag. So
I'm just trying to read it the way you read synopses, dude.
no.
Oh, is your blood boiling right now?
No, but my dick's hard.
Weird. Weird that you would have a boner in a situation like this.
That's been months. Let me do one off the dome.
Okay.
A real quick, brief summary, synopsis. This is how I think it should have gone.
But I will bag on it if I think it sucks more than what I've come up with so far.
Christian, I've never stopped you from bagging on any man in my life. And so if you want to bag on this, go ahead. Here's my synopsis.
Coming right at you.
School's out. What's wrong? What?
You looked at me for approval right after you said that. You just like... You're asking for me to just destroy.
How am I asking? I didn't say, Christian, please destroy me.
School's out.
School's out for summer, boys. And it's time for the seniors to get one last dirty damn party in. We got keggers, we got martinis, we got bikinis, and we got tiny weenies. Get your nerds, your birds, and everybody in between down here so we can party it up. J-Love, Eth M, JC.
Jay-Z's in this?
Melissa Joan Hart. Justin Trudeau, everybody's up in this beezy, bro, because we got one last bacchanal to pray to the gods and have a high school orgy in the bathroom with Seth Green. One more time. Check us out. I can't hardly wait.
I will say, honestly, from the deepest part of my heart, 15 out of 10. That was beautiful. That was actually really good. There are no bikinis in this film, though. I don't think there are. No tiny weenies that we see, actually. It's PG-13.
Yeah.
Those are my only notes. But other than that, the delivery was clean. It was refined. I couldn't ask for more.
Do you remember the last party you had senior year?
I cannot. It's probably like some graduation party.
Yeah, that's for sure. I do remember having our best party senior year, though.
What was the best party?
At an undisclosed location. But it was probably after like homecoming or prom or something.
Uh-huh.
I remember we were drinking.
Was I there with you?
You definitely were. And I came back inside and I like kicked in the door. And I was like...
You an action star now? You kicked open the door?
Who's drunk? And everyone looked at me and I said, my name is...
Oh!
And that was like our catchphrase for like the rest of the year.
Actually, one of my favorite drunk Alejandro moments is you saying, who's drunk?
My name is...
Because that makes no adherent sense.
We used to write on the beer pong table and that was one of the big things on it was, my name is...
Oh my gosh. We've had some weird sayings in high school that made no sense. Like, remember when I would just walk around and say...
Woogie, woogie, woogie.
I would never say that. Oh. That is a catchphrase that you guys are trying to impose on me now as a almost 27-year-old. I used to say...
Guys, stop making fun of me. I can't control my weight.
That's fucked up. Don't put those words in my mouth. That's actually depressing. For our fat listeners out there.
They're also beautiful. What did you used to say in high school?
I used to say pineapple juice.
Yes.
Which is a weird thing because all I did was kind of beatbox, make the P's in the word percussive. And titties look like pancakes. Do you remember
said that quite a bit.
Yeah, and no one was mad. Like that's
no, we all thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, even girls thought it was hilarious.
Teachers must have thought we were so weird. But I think every generation of high schoolers think they're gods, and then they get out and then it's like, oh,
it's you think you're top dog, and then like the real world comes right after high school.
Which is one of the main themes of this film, since this is a movie podcast, is that realization that you may be hot shit in high school, but the real world's coming.
Yeah, it's coming for you. You're top dog for that year, and your testosterone levels are through the roofs, and you just want to get your last nut in before you have to go to college and get a job.
Be real here, you never nutted in high school.
No,
me neither, bro. It's cool.
Yeah, dude. In movies, they kind of glorify this whole like you're getting so much poon as a senior in high school. No, you and I, actually, real gentlemen. I was too nice to women.
And I didn't really know
too many
what
women.
I was to women.
I mean, everyone in high school has that kind of identity crisis to a certain degree We think we're the shit, but it's because we were also very insecure in our own ways.
Yeah, we were insecure in certain ways, but I'll tell you what we didn't do. We didn't sit on a fucking letter for 4 years and not tell a girl that we liked our feelings.
Which is what Preston Myers does in this film.
Ethan Embry plays this incredible role where he has these deep-seated feelings for Jennifer Love Hewitt because who doesn't? But he does the mistake of sitting on it for 4 years. Honestly, if you have feelings for somebody, you should just say it. And that brings me to a point that I want to bring up. Christian.
What?
I love you.
Oh, do you have a letter that you've been sitting on for 4 years?
Not a letter.
Not a letter? Because other than that, I won't take it. I'm going to pull a J. Love Hewitt right now because the only way she was swooned here was through actual literature.
That's so. We'll get to it, but I do think it's really funny when she tells Preston to fuck off, and then she realizes that was the guy who wrote the letter.
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's a really fucked up moment. She must have felt like garbage afterwards.
So, did they grad? Yeah, the movie picks up at graduation.
Yes.
So this is like I said, the Bacchanal, the last kind of send off, the one for the ages.
Yes. It had that very interesting. It kind of did what The Girl Next Door did, where they were kind of saying their like last thoughts of what they would put in the yearbook when they're graduating. Yeah. Instead, it did like a little snapshot of their face, and it says like what extracurricular activities they did.
Yeah, like in Suicide Squad when it breaks down like the character dynamic. I did actually really like that. I almost wish every movie did that.
No matter what genre.
That should just be standard filmmaking.
Imagine if they did that in The Godfather.
Boom, Vito Corleone. 34 bodies to his name. From Italy. Speaks Italian, English, and Mandarin.
Height, weight, senior quote.
Biggest fear, allergic to cats. I want to say the one thing that I did notice in this film and also The Girl Next Door.
Yes.
Is the fact that I don't know if people who made high school parties in the 90s on film ever went to a high school party because they all seem like post-college grad situations because the parties that people have in these high schools, quote unquote, are very big.
They're huge.
They have food catered, kegs on ice, martinis, and glassware.
It's like they have a full bar and a bartender
and
present.
I don't know if the 17-year-old palate is... I mean, they're probably drinking martinis because it's just 3 ounces of cold liquor, but they're not drinking it out of a martini glass with 2 olives and an onion.
Hell no! At 17 years old, your palate is not refined enough. You'll drink piss.
What?
You'll drink what? Alcoholic piss.
What?
I mean, let me break this down. Like shitty
like
beer.
Piss from an alcoholic.
Shitty beer. Not piss.
Let me break this down. You know, like piss from an alcoholic after they're drunk and hungover.
Like if R. Kelly was an alcoholic, which he probably is. Okay, I'm not going to go in that direction.
That is slanderous, my friend. He has done a lot of things, and for you to make up something like that is disgusting.
Because that man is a saint.
No, pick something that he actually did. Like keep a live woman in sexual slavery for years of her life. Anyways.
I saw that real quick. I saw this meme on Facebook regarding R. Kelly. It was a picture of him, and it all said, breaking news, R. Kelly has tested positive for she wasn't 19 instead of COVID-19. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious, bro.
Wow, I don't like your sarcasm because I thought it was hilarious.
Hey, to each their own, pirate. What I like to talk about is movies, though, because this is a movie podcast, and that's what I'm going to discuss.
Okay, let's hop on it.
Ethan Embry's best friend in this film, Ambrose, what's her first name?
Lauren Ambrose.
Lauren Ambrose is playing like one of the funniest. If this movie was made 10 years earlier, that role would have been played by Molly Ringwald.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to say.
She kind of looks like the redheaded girl from Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Definitely. Or like Chucky.
With the short red hair, kind of like wearing like these floppy overalls. Yeah, Chucky.
Okay, this movie... there's just so much that happens in this film. There's a band that breaks up and gets together that has the guy from Scrubs.
Yeah. The guy from Scrubs is the drummer. The front man is Breckenmeyer. Mm-hmm. And they have their own arc in that single party. I'm not even exaggerating, 15 storylines going on in this film. What this film did a good job of was fleshing out all 15 storylines in the course of one party.
Far better than Gary Marshall did in Mother's Day.
Dude, at the end of a Gary Marshall film, I feel like I don't know the characters.
I want it to end, yes. So I can stop watching it.
But with this movie, within the course of just this one party, I know these characters.
But there were some characters that I didn't need to see it all the way through to the end. Like there was some.
Who?
Well, the band for sure. There was two times after the band got back together or after the band broke up where they like kept checking in on them, and I was like, I don't care.
I want to play something real quick.
He's pulling out a board game. He is setting
We're gonna
up
play
Monopoly.
a full game of Monopoly on this episode.
Wow.
No, what I wanted to do was I wanted to read not necessarily the cast list, but what the character names for this entire movie is, because they are all so specific, because they are also they're so throwaway.
I don't think anybody's a throwaway person, Christian. I think everybody has worth, and every character has a reason to be in the storyline.
Why do you do this to me? I'm not trying to make anyone sound shitty. You know what I mean. Here, let me read it to you. So, other than our, like, let's say our main six, let's start with these.
Aside from
side
anybody
characters.
who's name checked.
Yes. Girlfriend number 1.
Nice.
Jock number 3.
Perfect.
Watermelon guy.
Jason Segel.
Yeah. Ready to have sex girl.
Nice.
Cousin Ron.
Perfect.
Jock number 1. Girlfriend number 3. Jock number 2. Girl Mike hits on number 1. Girl whose party it is.
Yep.
Hippie guy.
Yep.
Yep. Ready to have sex girl number 2. Earth girl. I don't remember a lot of these characters.
Earth girl is the one who like is talking about aliens, right?
Yes, it has to be. And then one more, Klepto Kid. Who was that?
Klepto Kid is in American Pie quite a bit.
Shermanator, dude.
I actually, if you can vamp for a couple minutes, have a list of all the things that the Shermanator stole.
Dude, oh my gosh. Well, for you baddies out there that don't know who we're talking about, the Shermanator is the nerdy character in the entire American Eye franchise that
American
everyone
Pie.
makes fun of.
Yeah, and so Chris Owens is the name of the actor. He plays somebody whose name is Klepto Kid, and he is stealing something constantly. What he steals is he steals a small statue from the party. He steals a Love Burger t-shirt from the band. He steals the police car at the end of the film, and then he steals a gumball machine from the restaurant at the end of the film.
And that was the cherry on top when he steals the gumball
steals like
machine.
4 or 5 different things from the convenience store.
Yeah. At first I thought he was a friend of like Seth Green's little posse, but he's kind of just there.
I just made a connection right now, and it's kind of making me tingle. This is the 1998 Superbad.
Yes. Essentially, Superbad is just the more polished version of this that takes place
2006.
kind of before the party. This takes place mainly just at the party. That's a good connection there.
Thank you. There's a lot of characters in here, so we don't necessarily have to go through every single one because you should just watch the fucking movie.
Yeah.
But who was your favorite?
Seth Green.
Oh,
For sure.
that's actually kind of not a surprise.
How's that not a surprise? Well,
Because you're a nerd and Seth Green's a nerd, and you know, birds of a feather.
wow, that's a really rude way of putting it. I think that he's actually a very talented comedic genius for coming out with things like Robot Chicken, for having blown up as a star come the Austin Powers franchise, and still being very relevant today, being the voice of Chris in Family Guy. That guy had, comedy's not an easy sport, I'd say. He's stuck around for quite a while. In this movie, it is super easy to be very offensive playing a character that's trying to act black, right? He's trying to he's super thug in this. He's trying to be gangsta. He's wearing baggy clothes, and he gets made fun of. He has goggles on like he's an anime character.
The goggles are pretty cool. I missed that small window of time when goggles and Reebok pumps and giant Jenko jeans were cool.
Was that a combo? The Reebok pumps?
I had a pair of Reebok pumps.
Bring them back. I used to have a pair of Dada shoes, and if you don't believe me, baddies, Dada Supremes are an actual brand that they used to sell at Shoe Palace, worn by very prominent rappers, and also my older brother. And I used to wear it, and I was made fun of heavily in high school for wearing those, and I don't wear them anymore.
I had Heelys in high school.
You should bring back Heelys now.
I still have them.
I want to learn how to use Heelys. Will you teach me?
Yeah.
Okay, because before, since of my weight problem, it was difficult to balance, to find my center of mass, because it was distributed everywhere that I couldn't do it. Anyway.
Hey.
Hey.
You know what?
What?
The end of that story? Couldn't hardly wait for it.
You keep messing up the title. It's Can't Hardly Wait.
Hey, I'm close. One of the things I want to talk about is this dead set determination that Seth Green has to have sex with anyone.
Anyone. I like the part where he's in front of the mirror practicing his dance moves, but it's not even in private. It's in the middle of the party.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about when he goes up to the bathroom and is practicing his Kama Sutra.
I think it's hilarious that he has a sex kit in his backpack.
That's so funny too, because the backpack kid in high school. Do you remember the kid who would go to a party and have a backpack all the time? There was always one person. I think it's hilarious to imagine if that backpack is just full of lube and breath mints and condoms and a Kama Sutra book from.
See, that's where I think it's. If Seth Green was really prepared, he would have read the Kama Sutra book prior to the party. But no, he goes into the bathroom to read a chapter real quick. I think he's
the kind of guy who brings it to show off and then is like, yeah, and then if I really need it, I'll have it right here, good to go. Little does he realize that when you're about to have sex, you don't have time to flip through a manual. I've tried. It's very difficult to make it look like you know what you're doing and read a book.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I forgot to ask you.
Ask me.
Who's your favorite character? And I know there's a lot, so you could take your time thinking about it.
The nerd.
The nerd?
The nerd.
Oh,
the nerd, I find a story very similar to my own.
Charlie Korsmo, I believe. Real quick, do you know what he's from?
Yeah, he's from Can't Hardly Wait.
Other than that, dude, we've watched it for this podcast.
Yeah. It was...
Sounds like you don't know. Can I ruin it for you?
Drop Dead Fred?
No. Good guess, though.
Pursuit of Happiness?
From Hook. He is the kid from Hook, dude.
Oh my God.
Mind blown, right? Because I saw him and I was wondering, I was like, you look so familiar.
I did know that he got this role while he was studying at MIT.
Yeah, he's a lawyer now. That guy's really smart, actually. And I think he's had quite a resurgence. He was in a movie last year, so I think he's making a comeback in acting.
I thought he was a lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, but both. He accomplished what he was set to accomplish.
He has to pick one.
Pick
one.
You could do both. Whatever your heart desires.
The nerd story is really funny because he starts drinking and is like, yeah, I'll just be fine. I'll just follow along on this chart and then I won't get hammered and it'll be good. One shot in, he's destroyed.
Fucked up. The first sip of beer he has, he spits all over everyone.
That was funny. Did you notice that there's one scene in the kitchen where they're talking and they're pouring a drink, but there's a guy in the background who's just playing with his gum? He just has this huge wad of gum out of his mouth and he's just pulling it apart and I would like to see the movie about that guy. There's so much that goes on in the background of this film because they just let the extra everyone who was an extra in this film thought that they were going to be famous too because everyone who was in this film was an extra 2 months before they made this film.
Yes.
So it was a lot of potential in this film.
And it makes sense with that many extras and you want to stand out. If you're at the screening party of this film and you want to show to your friends and family where you are as an extra in the back, you want to be doing something big. So the guy playing with gum in the back, he's
beautiful,
telling his family look, Mom, I'm the one playing with gum in the background. Right there. Speaking of which, they also we prior to this episode we were talking about how they wanted to kind of keep this PG-13.
Uh-huh.
And one moment that they actually had to really manipulate to keep it PG-13 was when Amanda Beckett, Jennifer Love Hewitt, walks into the party. In the back, outside on the front yard, you see a guy holding a balloon up to his face. It wasn't really a balloon. Those are expensive as fuck CGI effects covering up a beer bong.
What?
They couldn't have a beer bong in this movie, or else, it could have told the MPAA that this could be rated R.
Wow.
Right?
It's interesting because it's not like they're hiding drinking at all. They drink quite a bit and very, not smart.
Very interesting moments that they decided to cut out in this film. Another one was, do you remember when the nerd and the jock were very drunk at the piano toward the end of the film?
Yes.
And they both pour each other alcohol from that expensive, whiskey glass. It zooms out, and then it zooms back in because they had to cut out them actually drinking it because they didn't want to show them drinking hard liquor at the party.
That's really weird with the lines that the MPAA draws.
It's weird as hell. Yeah, but those are a few things. Jason Segel was supposed to have a bigger part, but they
instead he just fingers a watermelon?
Yes. Very funny. I don't think he was given any direction for that. That's all ad-libbed. He's like, here's a watermelon. You're a watermelon guy.
Well, his name is Watermelon Guy.
Yep.
So maybe it's not ad-libbed.
They specifically told him, hey, you got to finger this watermelon.
I like to imagine Watermelon Guy is Marshall Erickson just before he went to college.
I would love to. I hope this is canon with the How I Met Your Mother franchise.
The main main jock, he's not necessarily a bad guy. He does end up to be kind of a douche, but he reminds me of Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada.
And why is that? You want to expand on it?
He just looks like Justin Trudeau.
Oh, the way he looks, yeah. I side with you on that. He's an interesting looking fella. Still has a prominent career.
If you say so. There is a lot of interesting budding careers in this film. Like you can tell in '98, a lot of these people didn't necessarily have what they didn't have necessarily the clout that they would have even 2 years later, even 3 years later. Mm-hmm. Everybody from Jennifer Love Hewitt to Ethan Embry and Jason Segel all had very prominent careers later on. But like we had said before, most people who did this film had a very successful career immediately after. Yeah. I think 98, 99, 2000, 2001 were all pretty good years for the actors of this film.
Yes. An actor that was in this film that was already having a great career was Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah, she was she had this small TV show called
Sabrina?
Yeah, the Teenage Witch.
Never heard of it.
I only know it because they have a talking cat. And I love talking
Salem?
kitties.
You come across a lot of talking kitties?
In my line of work.
That sounds disgusting. I'm starting to realize your joke now. Oh, that's gross, dude.
What's the joke?
I don't know. I feel just your tone and your demeanor is telling me that it's a dirty joke that I
wasn't intending it to be a dirty joke.
Okay, then we're just going to stick with the literal talking kitty.
Drop that kitty down low. That's the song.
I would like for you to keep going with that song.
No. What was the craziest thing you did in high school at a party?
Not necessarily in high school, but one of the craziest things I ever did was throw a party.
Did you ever take your shirt off and dance on the table or?
Okay.
Did you ever do something crazy like that?
One time at a party. Shout out to Rob Glatzel. He was a previous guest. Check out his episode. We reviewed the Bye Bye Man.
I'm sorry, the Bye Bye Man.
The Pee Pee Poo Poo Man. He picked me up, and we went to Jack in the Box before a party. I ate a bunch of food to carbo load to have something to soak up the alcohol.
To have diarrhea during the party.
I get to this party. I have 8 shots immediately when I get there because I'm a big boy, and I black out almost immediately within the first hour. That's what happens. All I remember from this very spotty evening is looking in the mirror in the bathroom, throwing up, missing the sink, getting it all over my shirt, looking back in the mirror, trying to be smart about this, and really analyzing my options. God. So I was like, I could try to be sneaky about this and not let anyone know that I threw up. So I'm going to hide the evidence. I take off my shirt that has throw up on it, and I just crumple it up in the corner and I put it in the bathroom. I walk out shirtless.
Is this at a house?
This is at a house. I walk out shirtless.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God.
And people are looking at me like, why is Christian shirtless right now? And it's not like I was hard to miss. And so I sit on the bed of the owner of the house's bedroom. And I sit there and I'm trying not to throw up. I throw up on his beanbag. And I try to push the beanbag into the corner. And someone... What?
This is...
a wild story. I know.
Can I just say...
What?
I thought I've had some wild nights, but luckily I've done some crazy shit, but I've never vomited in 2 different places and tried to hide the evidence.
Dude, I'm not done. It gets worse. So the owner of the house... For some reason...
Do I know the owner?
You do know the owner. Oh. He's also shirtless. For whatever the fuck reason. I think they're wrestling in the garage.
He's doing the same thing, hiding a vomit shirt.
He found the vomit on the beanbag, and he calls me into the room, and we're looking at each other, and he's getting so mad at me that he slaps me. And we're having this shirtless slap fight. In his bedroom, 2 drunk people, a slap fight.
But
pretty much, we were upset. This was no joke. And then Rob Glatzel was like, "Okay, Christian, it's time to go home." I don't remember the car ride home.
Wow.
Skip over to the next morning. I wake up shirtless, and like that feeling of like where everything's moving after you've had like a shitty night of drinking. Wake up shirtless. I'm trying to recollect my memories of the evening prior. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have my glasses. I gotta find my glasses. I put on the shirt. I'm looking for my glasses everywhere. I go into my bathroom right here next to my bedroom, and I look into the sink. There's a puddle of throw up in the sink, and on top of the throw up are my glasses. What I imagined happening is that I got home after Rob Glatzel dropped me off. I threw up so hard in the sink that gravity took over and my glasses like fell off of my face into the throw up. I did not throw it away. And my mom was asking me, she was like, there's throw up in the sink, son. Like, and your glasses are in there. Are you okay? Food poisoning, Mom. And then I go downstairs, try to see what else I did
Rob
wrong.
Glatz was there.
I wish I needed a friend that night or that morning. And there was a full Hot Pocket on a plate that I warmed up and did not touch from the evening before.
Great.
And then I ended up eating it that morning.
That's an insane story, and I'll tell mine very briefly because it's not anywhere near as wild as that. But I do remember the first time I ever blacked out.
Oh, I actually really want to hear this. I don't think I've ever heard your first blackout story.
Which is, I just want to say, for the older generation who's listening, this is a very common thing for our generation because we accept heavy drinking in our lifestyle. Everyone else who doesn't admit that blacking out happens, it happens to everyone because it is a thing that happens once alcohol hits the frontal lobe of your brain. I don't know. I'm making up it. It just makes you shut off. First time I blacked out, I had drank an entire bottle of a TGI Fridays mixed like lava drink.
That's so specific.
I'll never forget it. I drank the whole thing, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't even feel a little drunk. So I started mixing vodka and juice. I think it was cranberry juice. And then we left the first party to go to a second party. You were there too. And I was making drinks and stuff for everybody. And I remember I made a drink and I handed it to one of our friends, Liana. And I was like, Liana, did I even put any alcohol in this? Can you taste this for me? And she takes a sip and she almost throws up. And she goes, that's like all vodka. And I was like, nah. And I remember turning. Everybody toasts. We all cheers. I put the cup down. I look at it and go, it looks like there's juice in it. Put it up to my lips. That's all I remember.
And you were done?
Woke up the next morning in a fetal position on my bed with my back to a pile of vomit. And I just kind of scooped up all my
vomit
bedding and just cleaned it all up and then I went and took my dog to the dog park and was drinking a vitamin water, but the vitamin water I was drinking smelled exactly like that TGI Fridays mixed drink. So I was gagging, but I had to drink it because it had electrolytes and shit that was gonna make me feel better, but the flavor was rough.
Terrible. So how much longer that next day did you just feel like complete
the whole
crap?
Day. And it's funny too because people have talked to me about that night because dude, there was one point I looked over at you and I was on one side of the couch and the girl I was talking to at the time was on the other side of the couch and we were both just whacked out and just but I can just imagine the both of us being super drunk, incoherent, this is cool, right? This is what cool kids do.
It's so funny going to parties with you because usually we go together. So I see you when you're sober, or at least just pre-gamed a little bit. But you're coherent, right?
Okay.
And then you disappear for a while, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then you come back and I can see when you've had
Am I the disappear friend?
Sometimes you are. Sometimes, not necessarily disappear off the premises, but you're just.
I do make friends.
You do make friends, and it's a while. I won't see you for half an hour, and then I see you, and I'm like, Alex has had quite a bit, but just to get back to this movie, Baddies, check it out. It's on Netflix. We could talk all about it, or you could just watch it. It's pretty predictable, but it's a fun ride the entire time. It's your typical high school party movie.
Mm-hmm. It is at the most end of the 80s, going into the 90s.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Passing of the torch from teenage generation to teenage generation.
Mm-hmm. It's basically the Animal House of the late 90s.
There she is.
But way less raunchy.
It's funny you bring up the word raunchy because I was just typing in Jamie Presley's name here to Google. And I'd like you to take a peek here of what we got here.
Oh my gosh, you're right. That's the first... one of the first things that pop up is her Playboy spread.
Well, she's famous like that, bro. She is.
I didn't realize that because I've seen her in so many other things.
And now she's an actress and has things to do. And I respect her rise to fame.
I respect it too. Speaking of which, who's your B boss, dude?
It should be Jamie Presley.
Of course. You know, when I was watching this and I saw her, I was like, Alex is gonna bring this up.
But it's actually Seth Green.
Seth Green. Same here, dude. How can it not be Seth Green? Acting up a storm, being a real comedic force in this funny, silly movie.
It's funny to see. How old do you think Seth Green was when he made this? 17, 18?
Yeah, probably 19, I would say.
It's funny to see him know exactly what his character type is, even that young, right? There's a couple people, when you see them do their thing from any age, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Seth Green, I think, is one of them. When you see like old clips of Michael Jordan, you're just like, yeah, that makes sense.
We know you're going to be a great basketball player.
You're just doing it already. You know what I mean? And like when you see videos of me, it's just like, yeah, that guy's got it.
That guy's got it. Do you want to define what it is?
Nope.
Nope. We'll just leave it ambiguous for the baddies.
Well, why don't you rate this movie, boy? Right in front. Rate it. Rate it right here.
Going in, I thought it was either going to be a 2 out of 5 or a 3 out of 5, but since my expectations were so low, I was pleasantly surprised. I'm going to be generous today. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Bonkers good way. How about you, dude?
I'll give it a 3.5.
3.5? That's all good. And that makes sense. And I think that's a solid ICBTB rating for a movie like this. Baddies, check it out.
Check it out.
Any last words to say?
Any last words?
Yeah.
Don't forget to spade and neuter your dogs.
Because there are way too many animals on this planet.
Tip your waiter, waitresses. Waitry.
I think that's the correct English way to put it. But also, don't go to restaurants right now. It's you can't dine in because of the times.
You can now.
But
by the time this comes out, I think people will be able to.
That's right. Things are slowly opening. How do you feel about that, man?
Let me out.
Are you feeling way too quarantined right now?
I just don't think we should be working under the thumb of the World Health Organization and China because they make the decisions for us here in America. I thought this was a free country where we could make our decisions and live the way we want to live.
You know, usually I stop you, but I'm actually gonna sit back and I'll let you vent right now. I think I would. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's just, here's my thing. My body, my rights. And I want to say, I want to lick handrails and eat dirty food out of dive bar restaurants, and I want to be on crowded public transportations with my hands on things that millions of other people have touched and coughed on and sneezed in, and I don't want to wear a mask, and I want to openly breathe with my mouth as wide as I could make it. And you know what? I'm just going to say to any virus that I get, welcome to America.
Yeah. Dude, without even COVID ever having existed, you would have died from something. If you're licking handrails near public transportation, if you're like eating gum off of rails like Will Ferrell did.
Free gum.
No, and gum's already kind of cheap. Just go in a fucking CVS and buy some gum, dude.
Cevis?
Cevis. And on that note, baddies, don't forget to rate and review us. You can follow me on Instagram at Christian Has Asthma.
You can follow me when you walk behind me.
That's scary, dude. You're inviting stalkers. You're inviting potential
I'm inviting
murderers.
followers. Jesus wasn't scared of Peter.
Peter, stick behind me. He just had like...
Right here, Peter. Right there. Right behind George.
They walked in a single file line every single time they were walking to a private place to pray.
It'll hide our numbers. This way they can't tell how many of us are walking.
So if you're looking directly at Jesus, it looks like you're only looking at Jesus, but behind him are 11 disciples.
It's like the sand people from Star Wars.
They all pop out from the side.
Hey. Oh my God, there's thousands of you.
Oh my God.
No, just 12.
Just 12.
And that whore that we can't get rid of.
Whoa, man.
Mary Magdalene was a whore.
I know.
You get mad at me when I say things that are actually part of the Bible. But you know what? That book's super metal. Lots of murder and hella sex and magic. And then you get to Revelations when they're
magic? Wait, you're talking about
lots of magic, like witches, and they're just like, and then this bush caught on fire. And we all thought to ourselves, what if we fuck the Egyptians and leave? It's just like the most insane book. If you read the Bible and didn't know that it was the Bible, you would be like, this is nonsense.
This is crazy.
Yeah, dude. And then you get to Revelations and it's just like, the worst acid trip gone wrong.
You should start your own podcast where you break down the Bible episode by episode.
Book by book.
Yeah, I'm sure you could cover one page of the Bible in one episode because there's so much text on one page.
There used to be a podcast that did 1 minute for 1 minute per episode. Of every minute in Star Wars Episode 1. So they broke down Episode 1. Every single minute was an episode. So they spent the whole episode talking about 1 minute.
Lauren Lapkus and this other improviser just came out with this podcast where neither of them have ever seen anything from the Star Wars franchise.
Oh, and they talk about Star Wars?
And they try their best to talk about Star Wars. Like
that's frustrating. I don't like that.
Lauren Lapkus' co-host cannot say C3PO. She keeps mixing it. 3PC. What's it called? Yeah.
Hey, I don't blame her for that. That's a hard name. I've dated plenty of girls who have never seen Star Wars, and I remember making quite a credo that I would never do such a thing. And I'm always like, I'll get them into it. But you can't get somebody into Star Wars. They have to find it on their own.
Was that on How I Met Your Mother? Where like
it's definitely a tentpole in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, where like Ted Mosby, he's trying to introduce Star Wars to all of his potential girlfriends.
No, Stella had never seen it.
Stella, that's who it was.
And so he has to have her watch it, and then she's like, "You got to get the fuck out of the room if you want me to watch this."
Oh man. Okay. Well, Baddies, thanks for listening.
And thanks for breathing.
Thanks for living.
Thanks for pooping.
And just thanks for being you, because you guys, inside and out,
are horrible people.
No, beautiful, beautiful. Bye.
It can't be that bad. Oh, it can't be that bad.